Hello, Renee. Do you have a question? There's not going to be a lab today, so I'm only here for answer questions. Does anyone have a question? Actually, I see one, two, three, four, five people here.
I
Well,
don't have a question, but I'm hoping somebody will ask something that would be important for me to know.
okay. You can just wait. I'll stay here for 15 minutes. If anyone thinks of a question, just ask.
Is the Unknown Project just like no second try like the other lab stuff? I don't mean the whole project. I just mean like, what if we get off on the wrong foot, like not knowing how to do it the first time around? Do we get an opportunity to fix that and then kind of figure it out?
Um, no, but you can change the test you request. Let me explain. Test. There we go. So I gave you the gram stain, so let's assume it's gram negative. And I gave you the gelatin hydrolysis. Let's just assume it's gram gelatin hydrolysis positive. Then that narrows it down to four possibilities. Salmonella, come on. And then two Proteus and Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So what you should do is find a test to narrow down these four possibilities. And this test right here is one.
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, I thought I was. Sorry. Guess I'll do that. All right. Um,
I still don't see your screen.
you don't see the screen. I've got it showing. Hmm. Oh, I gotta hit the share button also. So I guess I only did the options for the share.
Yeah, there
Anyways,
we go.
um, so you know it's gram negative, and then it's gelatin hydrolysis positive. So it's these four, meaning these four species. So then you pick a test to separate these four. And this may not be the best one, but it does quickly show you that if we did the urease test, we'd separate it out to three versus one. And then you can then separate these three out, and you could do like the PR glucose test for the AG as opposed to negative. And what you could we do then? We could do the PR sucrose test for separating these two out. That's one way to identify the species. Now, if you got on the wrong track, let's say you mistakenly thought it was gram positive and then it was plus, so let's put in the plus here. And so you say something like, oh, this is a test that could separate them out. That's a variable, so let's not do that one. Let's do this one. It takes out one, but no, it takes out two. Um, let's do this one. The reason is I don't want to change the color of that. So, of course, I don't have to save it, I guess. Um, so you asked for this test. That test won't help you because it doesn't separate out any of these. And let's say you realize, oops, I thought it was gram positive, but it's really gram negative. You asked for one faulty test, but then you can go back and say, send me this. Now, if I haven't sent you the results yet, you can request that this test be scratched and that you want this test. If you get the results to that, you're kind of stuck with it because that result won't help you. All of these are positive, so it doesn't narrow it down. And so you are stuck with that, and that would be a mistake because you asked for a test that wouldn't help. But then you can then later on ask for that test. Is that clear? What you're
I
supposed to be
think so.
doing?
I think so. So following that logic, for example, I think I would be asking for the urase test, the pigment oxidase, and indole, and then
Okay, how
maybe
would you do those? Um, how would you know that you'd want first the urase test and then the pigment test? How do you know that? Because you haven't got the results to the urase test yet.
yeah, that was a second question. Is does it have to go in a particular order?
It doesn't have to go, but this project is supposed to be using dichotomous logic.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
For when you found out it was gram negative or gram positive, was that based on the picture results like that you sent us? Is that what we're supposed to look at and know from there?
Yeah, the first two columns I gave you were the results I've sent. Let's go ahead and clear that. So these results I had sent. Not, this isn't your results, but I could have sent somebody gram negative. In fact, I'm sure I sent somebody gram negative and then gelatin hydrolysis positive. I don't know if that's your results or not, but I sent that out. So I did send the data to the gram stain and the gelatin hydrolysis test.
My results were that negative and then positive for the gelatin.
Okay. Probably about a fourth of the people would get that.
And so how quickly should we ask, like request the test? So to stay on the timeline so that we avoid, because I know like some things are incubation 7 days, et cetera. So how quickly should we ask for the next one?
You should ask as quick as you can, but obviously, it's not important. You do need about 2 weeks to finish this project. I think you'll have only about 4 weeks of the term, maybe five, something like that. So you want to get started on it. It doesn't have to be right away, but like I said, it'll take the average student about 2 weeks to finish this project. It might take 3 weeks if you're an unlucky student, but you have at least 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks to get it done.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah, I was under the impression it had to be like immediately. So I was a little bit stressed about that, but it sounds like at
Doesn't
least
have to be
allow two
immediate,
weeks.
but it should be soon.
Yeah,
Like I said, because if you're unlucky and you wait more than 1 week, you won't have time to finish the project.
right.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? Good questions, by the way.
So you sent this specific Google Sheets to us?
Google Sheets. Which Google Sheets are you referring to? I haven't shown any Google Sheets.
No, the one that you just showed because I'm
That
looking
wasn't a
at
Google Sheet.
images.
That is
It
a
was
web
in
page.
Okay.
You can find, what is that called? Let me share my screen here again. You can find the page that I've shown. If you scroll down to week 5 of the lab, it has all of the files for this project. There you go, unknown report. And that's the one I was showing, the unknown list, SP 2020. And you don't need to know that, but that's the unknown list. That's the file I was showing.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
all right. Let me see. There we go, stop the share.